What's good, everybody, and welcome back to...
Absolutely not. No, we're not doing this video.
Oh my gosh, here we go. It's always...
No, I don't want to hear it this time. You know what this project did to us last time.
Yes, man. I know we still got...
No, we don't. Tell the people what the project did to us last time.
Look, man, it's not really going to do us any good to go into any of that. I mean, why do you even want to...
No. Tell the people what this project did to us last time.
Look, I don't even...
I ain't got no problem telling them. I'm going to tell y'all flat out, we made a video on WinNFTHorse, a full video on WinNFTHorse. We was in the studio all night trying to put that video together, and then as soon as we shared it in the Telegram, they deleted it immediately.
Well, you know, it's people's telegrams. They have the right to, you know, manage the stuff that you post.
No, I'm not trying to hear that. You go to that Telegram right now and find a whole bunch of useless memes that people talk about nothing. But they claim to want the community's responses and the community feedback. We provide them that feedback and they delete our video with no questions asked. And don't forget, they even tried to delete evidence that the conversation even took place. They not only deleted the video, they deleted them communicating with each other, telling each other to remove the video and our response to that.
Look, man, I'm mad about it too, but it's not really a whole lot that we could do about it.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. How can a project claim to want feedback, and then when you provide feedback, they delete it? I mean, didn't we even provide them a video talking about the bug that they had when you couldn't rename your daggone horse? And this is how they repay us? This is how they repay us?
Look, I'm going to do the video alone. I think you need to step outside, take a chill pill.
But this, you should be mad just as mad as...
You need to step outside, take a chill pill. Whew. All right, folks, I'm sorry about that. He's a little heated, you know. He kind of has reason to be upset, but we still got to make the video. So, without further ado, cue the intro, but before he gets back. Alright, folks, so here we have WinNFTHorse. Let's talk about this. So first up on the screen here, of course, we're at the alerts menu here. When you first log in, it gives you the recent changes and updates that you should know about. So here they've got the about the withdrawal. We're definitely going to talk about that a little bit. The how to use the HOS. And then over here on the notice side of things, they have a sneak peek. Actually, this one is good. Let's go ahead and read this because this did talk about a bunch of recent changes that just happened. So real quickly, a sneak peek at the big update on April 15th. In response to the community's feedback and suggestions, WinNFTHorse has been insisting on continuous optimizations and adjustments to the game. Previously, in order to ensure the long-term sustainable development of the entire game ecosystem and encourage the long-term participation of loyal users, we optimized and adjusted the economic model and launched new functions such as HOS staking. In the past, present, and even in the future, WinNFTHorse has always been committed to working with community players to build a prosperous horse racing ecology. Based on this, WinNFTHorse will usher in an epic update on April 15th. This update is quite rich in content, bringing great changes to the game and making it easier for players to participate in. The updates are as follows: convert existing NFT to HOS, currency output adjustment, punch the line, chat, and gifting. So some of these changes we will actually see as we run through the video real quick, but this notice right here, this one covers the bulk of everything we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and pop out of that. Again, if you haven't used this before, this I know I give them a lot of slack, but this right here is one of the updates that did make sense to at least let people know what they've come back to. Now, it'd be great if some of the changes we were told about before they happened, but at least they're telling us about the changes that have taken place and somewhat of an explanation for it. At the end here, we'll kind of touch back on this, and then I'll give you my thoughts about these changes that took place. So they mentioned HOS staking. Let's just go ahead and get right into that. So right here you can stake your HOS. And at first it didn't really make sense because people were like, well, there's not really that many ways to earn HOS. Well, guess what, people? Y'all walked us right into it. Because now we have plenty of ways to earn HOS. In fact, the daily payouts have been changed completely from NFT to HOS. HOS is their in-game token. So HOS works one-to-one with NFT, and we'll go back and read that on the staking. But I just wanted to show you here real quick. You can see that the daily quest payouts, those have changed to HOS. And then their advanced quests as well, those payouts have changed to HOS. Up here, if you click on VIP, if you notice here, you scroll down, it gives you your rewards. It does not say NFT. I never noticed that it did not say NFT. So that's something that we'll touch on a little bit later. But the reward payouts are still accurate there in terms of amount of rewards. We talked a little bit in the last video about the breakout here and the changes they made there, so that pretty much sums up what we needed to get from. Oh no, let's go ahead, let's talk about this gift function here, the gifting function that was in the announcement there. So you can enter the quantity of HOS that you would like to gift to someone, enter the destination wallet address, and then you would confirm it. The gift record here shows you how much you've sent, how much you've received in terms of gifts. I have not used the gift function at all yet, so that's why mine are blank. It talked a little bit about the chat. The chat function is currently located down here. It is, I don't believe this is fully functional at this time, but you can get the gist of what they're trying to do here. You saw when I sent that chat, this timer started. That's something in place to prevent chat spam. That's something that's very common in gaming, actually. So good on them for implementing that right from the start. And then private chat, I don't have any private chats going yet. So those two functions are in the game. I have not made the greatest use of them yet, but as you can see, the chat may still need a little bit of work here. I'm not sure if this is designed to run up, how many chats is allowed to stack before it reduces, just to protect the interface, that kind of thing. But that's not why we are here. So you can see the NFT that I have up here, that was earned through Ace of Race. That was an Ace of Race reward. Right now, earning NFT in this game has been reduced to seasonal rewards only right now. So all your daily payouts and arenas and things of that nature are HOS. Well, actually, in the arena, you can still actually set what you want to do there. I'll show you that real quick. So we'll go to the arena. The arena joins. You can see these are HOS for registration fees. If I initiate a match, I can flip the registration fee between HOS, NFT, or Win. Which Win is not a token that I have actually ever acquired in the game. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But you can see here that you still have the ability to wager NFT should you desire to do so. Excuse me. So before we get out of here, let's go ahead and talk about the payouts. So you can see that I'm staking 16 million HOS here right now, and that my recoverable amount currently is 570,000 ish. I have not claimed any yet. I just let it sit there. I tell myself not to touch it because then I'll let it stack till it gets higher. You can look at the details here. This will show you some of the income and expenses, and then the expenditure type, so interest settlements. So just different, people staking, people claiming, things of that nature. You can see the previous transactions. And then if you want a more thorough explanation, you click on the questions here. It gives you tips. And we're actually going to go ahead and read through these. So, number one, staking. HOS earns NFT interest as a reward. In the current version, only HOS staking is on live, but NFT staking may be open in the future. So only HOS staking is available right now, but in the future they may open up the ability to stake NFT. Now, why you would do that would sort of confuse me, because that comment will make more sense a little later in the video, but the HOS is one-to-one with NFT. So I'm not sure why they would revert back to making NFT used for some of the same things again. That's like a little bit of a confusing ball of wax, but we'll keep pushing. Number two, for staking, the in-game HOS must be transferred to the staking HOS account, and the staking income can be obtained after the staking is completed for 24 hours. So if you stake, you must stake for a full 24 hours in order to be able to claim any income from the staking. And you must first transfer that HOS to your staking account. Now, it's not something that you actually have to go and write down yourself. The game does it for you. Number three, the staking HOS cannot be consumed in game. If it needs to be consumed, it must be withdrawn from the staking account, and the staking time of the withdrawn amount will be reset. So what that's telling you is that, say you were upgrading your horse with some HOS that you had sitting there, and then you're like, oh crap, no, I'm just going to upgrade it using the HOS that I have in my staking account. No, you can't do that. You have to pull it out of the staking account first, and then you can spend it on, upgrading your horse or wagering in an arena or whatever you're trying to do there. The staking HOS is settled at 2,400 every day, and the staking must be fulfilled for 24 hours. Just talk a little bit about that. For example, deposit 1 million HOS at 1,500 Hong Kong time today, and it will be fulfilled 24 hours later at 1,500 or at 1,500 Hong Kong time tomorrow. So 24 hours. But at this time, the income cannot be obtained immediately. It must be obtained at 2,400 Hong Kong time tomorrow. So deposits, withdrawals, and exchanges are limited to 10 times per player per day. Once the upper limit is reached, no further operations are allowed today. Now this change, let's tie this next one in too. The minimum amount of deposit, withdrawal, and exchange is 100,000 per transaction. Each time you receive the proceeds, you need to deduct a 2% handling fee. Now, this is a change right here that I can sort of get behind on the deposits and withdrawals. Because what was happening is every single time somebody would get on and they'd earn their daily NFT, now they want to withdraw their daily NFT. So there's a number of reasons that that's not the greatest for your project, right? So if people are withdrawing all of their NFT, one, they're not using it in the game, which you kind of hope that they would use it for, because remember they had that burn functionality set in here. We'll talk a little bit about that later as well. But they're withdrawing the funds essentially from the ecosystem. You take your NFT, you send it to an exchange, and if people are using it as a payout, they sell right away. So you sell it right away, and now it can mess with your charts a little bit, put it that way, because it shows that people are just selling. So that's one reason it's not the greatest. And then two, people were not getting their payouts on time or in any sort of regular manner because there's just so many payouts to choose from. So that's where I think this limiting to 10 times a day per player is kind of going to take effect and slow down some of the transactions and allow them to keep up a little bit better. One of the reasons they did fall, one opinion that I have of why they fell behind a little bit is because they do check their withdrawals and transactions for fraudulent activity, which is a good thing, but that requires a little more time. And when you're stacked up with so many small transactions and you have to filter through each one, eventually nobody's happy. They not happy, and the people who waiting on their withdrawals to go through aren't happy. So that is a positive change in my opinion. That covers this portion. We will go ahead and jump out of the game and read from one of their postings about what's going on, and then really dive into some of my thoughts behind these changes. Alright, so what you see up on the screen here right now is an announcement from April 3rd, so back at the beginning of the month. The reason we're going through this one is because in-game we did see some of these announcements, but there are a few in here that I didn't necessarily see on the in-game panel, though we didn't click through all the channels, that I still think are useful and can be useful to some people, so we're going to read through these anyways. And before I get too far, I apologize if you hear any crickets or rain in the background. We have just entered our rainy season, and right now it sounds really soothing. On top of that, I just got done dusting off a bunch of stuff in the studio, so I'm letting all that crap flow out the window. So let's keep talking about this. On the 15th of April, Hong Kong time, we'll recalculate the player's NFT profit rate and again issue it according to the profit rate bracket. The minimum withdrawal limit of 80 million will be temporarily removed. The minimum withdrawal limit will be restored at 0 hours on the 15th of April Hong Kong time. So these changes should have already taken place. And I will be 100% honest, I do not fully understand this chart and how it applies. My best guess is that it deals with the withdrawals, though as you saw, I'm not really making any withdrawals at this point, so that may be why I don't quite get it. But I asked over in the Telegram chat. Y'all know how that Telegram chat worked for this project. The English speaking one anyway. If you post anything besides a meme, people don't like you, they think you're weird, and you're probably not going to get a response. So, moving on. At 0 on the 15th of April, the existing NFT in the game account will be automatically converted to HOS, including the reward from Ace of Race and mail attachments. HOS staking function in the unclaimed NFT will not do a conversion. So that's saying that if you have HOS staking and you've earned NFT from staking that, they're not going to, I apologize, they're not going to take the NFT that you earn by staking and convert that back to HOS. That wouldn't make any sense. So, good idea there. The game daily rewards will be adjusted to HOS. We saw that when we were clicking through. We will issue NFT in two modes: HOS pledge earnings and seasonal rewards. So right now in game, the only way you can get NFT still is through staking your HOS or through the seasonal rewards in the game. NFT in Win will be issued in seasonal rewards continuously. We will have cooperation with the big IP cross-border. New horse and new scenes will also be introduced. New equipment system will be added in order to help the players. Newly adjusted cheering and spinning system, better rewards for players to get. Now, I'm a fan of that because y'all saw the last video when I was spinning that wheel, I didn't get nothing. So I'm definitely in agreement with that. The in-game chat system is online. You can chat and interact with all players in the whole server while running horses. So I didn't run any horses, so that's probably why the chat wasn't working out that well for me. And then how to use your HOS. Staking HOS to earn NFT up to 100% will be in the first 2 weeks. So they have a little money making strategy link here for how to stake and deal with your HOS. And then they also have this here, which is an in-game roulette strategy link that you can click on to go and read a little bit more about the in-game roulette. So, more HOS gameplay is under development. In the future, we will listen to the community more actively to build more innovative features and gameplay for the game. WinNFTHorse will not let down the community members who have supported us all the way. We will accept the supervision of the community. We welcome you to communicate with us more. Now, I will say that that last statement there, I hope they hold true to it, but my experience has not necessarily been that. So with that being said, let's get into the part of the video where I give you my thoughts on these changes and sort of how I feel about the project at this stage. All right, my thoughts. Let's talk about them. So I'll try to be brief here, but I got a lot on my head. I'm going to still try to be brief. As a crypto trader, I don't love these changes. In fact, I don't like them at all. But as an investor, I definitely understand these changes. Let's break those down. As a crypto trader, I don't love it because previously, in short, after a 5-day wait, right, give or take, I'd be in possession of my NFT tokens and be able to send them to an exchange. And if I needed to, convert them to my local currency, go down the road, put some gas in my car, buy some cereal, go catch a movie, whatever it was that I wanted to use that money that I earned in game for. These changes that have just been made now shorten the ability to do all of that, or drag out the process for performing any of that. It changes the way you manage your earnings, to put it simply. That's why I don't love it as a trader. But I mentioned as an investor, I understood it. Now let's talk about that part. As an investor, I understood when I got into this and I saw the payouts that were there. This was unsustainable. I said it in several different chats that I'm a part of. Some of y'all can go back and find them, I'm sure. But I said it over and over that I did not believe this sustainable. The reward amounts, the payout amounts either had to come down or something like a switch to an in-game only token had to happen. Let's talk about the why just a little bit. The Ape NFT token, that NFT token that we were earning from playing this game, is so much bigger than just this game. The Ape NFT project, they're involved in fine art. They're literally building an art museum in the metaverse. There's so much more to that project than just this game. So one piece that I left out the trading part was that those tokens, just like the HOS, were also available to be used to upgrade your horse, your NFT, your horse. So essentially what would happen is during the period of a season, the tokens that were used would be collected and then be set to be burned. Folks, that's unsustainable. You cannot just endlessly burn tokens forever. You literally burn your project right up. So that just, it was unsustainable, so a change had to be had. All along, I knew that either those rewards had to come down or it had to be switched to a different token. It just had to happen. So that's why as an investor, I understand it. And I also appreciate it because the other thing that would happen is if this sort of change wasn't made, eventually you'd have to get out of this project because you wouldn't be able to earn any more money from it. Go back and look at some of the play to earn games that didn't make it. Some of them failed to adjust to a sustainable model and burned up too many tokens and either had to introduce a secondary token just to keep up with it that they also went through a whole bunch of releases for, or the project fell by the wayside, right? So they had to do something here. And with the different hands behind this project, you just knew these folks, they know tokenomics. You knew they were going to make an adjustment. So that's why as an investor, I understand it, right? And in a way, it protects your investment. Even though it may be hard to grasp, a hard pill to swallow, it kind of protects your investment. So those are sort of my thoughts on those. Now, get my hands a little dirty with my summarized opinion. This project, just as I told you, I knew a change had to be made. This project also knew a change had to be made. And they knew a change had to be made probably way before I did. Could you say that they're wrong for likely knowing this in not telling people? You could. But could you also say that as an investor, it's kind of your job to understand what it is that you're getting into? Yes, you could. So that's the skinny of it, folks. Right? The project likely knew that it was an unsustainable model, but investors should have probably realized that too. The problem is not everybody who got into this game was necessarily an investor. Some of them are literally just game players who want to earn tokens. So that's why there's some of the unhappiness that goes on. And now I crack a lot of jokes on this project, and let's be honest, I'm probably not going to stop cracking jokes on this project, but I have people from my community that are invested in this project as well as myself. So sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, folks, right? Not everything is going to go your way. That's just how it is. We don't own this project. We're just participants, right? But I would like to challenge this project because they say they're going to start implementing more community thoughts into this project. Because right now, I feel this project is just following its own laid out plan. They're essentially building a racetrack in the metaverse. Everything that you can do at a racetrack, you're almost able to do here. At a racetrack, you can go and spectate, right? They got the tier system going. You can bet on a horse, right? Some of these racetracks, depending on where they're located, you can find a slot machine, right? A casino just outside the racetrack, right? So that's what's happening with this project, folks. So what I would say is maybe they will take some community advice, right? But if that advice that comes from the community, if it don't fit in with what a racetrack functions as, they're probably not going to take your suggestion. Just fair warning. But without getting too long-winded, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So you see now where the project is headed. You see what they're trying to accomplish, right? I don't think this project is going to fail. I truly don't. This is one of those projects that just, they got a beat on it, and, they're moving to the beat of the drum. They're likely going to be successful, right? Whether you don't want them to be successful, whether I don't want them to be successful, they're building something that already works in the real world, folks. It's likely going to work in the metaverse as well. So that's all I have for y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Man, we got a lot more content to come on the channel. I got some special things in store for some of these other projects that I've been talking about as well. So stay tuned, folks. Shook's got something coming down the pipe for you. So this has been another episode of ShookFocuz Digital. Thanks for tuning in, people. And as always, until next time, don't get shook. Stay focused. And I'm out.
What's your mission? Mine is winning. My ambition, keep me winning. Done with wishing. Shut up and listen. My ambition, simple winning. What's your